I live in Fresno, California. My nephews live in Atlanta, Georgia. My good friend Nathan Marlow is up in Sacramento.
Yo,
I'm just saying.
sorry.
But anyway, Big Sam and Nephews is sponsored by my guy Market at 504 East Belmont Avenue here in the wonderful city of Fresno, California. And they have the wonderful. I've had this checkmate sandwich, right? Wonderful sandwich. It's a short rib sandwich, which is really good. And the owner of my guy Market is Floyd Sanchez. Good dude. Can't say enough about him. And then I want to say hello to my guy Eddie too.
What up,
They
Eddie?
rock. They rock, man. They rock. They rock. They rock. Also, Big Sam and Nephew is also sponsored by another sponsor I have is Fresno Social Sports. I gotta go slow. Fresno Social Sports, because I tend to talk. I don't know. I'm excited about doing my show always. I'm excited every day to do my show, I suppose. But anyway, that's enough said. Anyway, Fresno Social Sports, where adults come to play and connect and they have fun and they are building the community one game at a time. They have what they do. Fresno Social Sports. They do events for grown people. Like what's the game with I keep getting it wrong.
Pickleball.
Okay, I can't because I hate pickles so much I can't say it.
I know.
They have that.
That's how I knew what game you were trying to think of because you hate pickles.
Oh yeah, well,
You hate pickles, so I remember.
Saying people, but anyway, they do that, and they do I think it's in May or June. They do a prom for adults, and that
sounds interesting.
It is pretty, it's interesting.
I didn't go to either of my proms.
Really?
Nah.
You didn't want to do it. I don't know. Did I? No. You know what, Nathan? I didn't go to my prom either. I didn't go to my prom. I'm trying to remember what I did. I'll get on this subject in a minute. I'm going to finish up my talking about Fresno Social Sports. Fresno Social Sports. You can go to FresnoSocialSports.com. My good friend Eric Young, he's the owner and proprietor for Fresno Social Sports. And I want to give a shout out to my stat guy, my brother Gregory Williams. I cannot leave Gregory out because he's right on. Because I do not have formal cable TV. I have satellite TV, and so I don't get a lot of bowl games unless it's on NBC, ABC, or CBS. If it's not on those three, I don't get it. So my brother, my wonderful brother, he watches the games and he tells me who's winning and gives me all the rundown. So it's like cool. Which
buddy.
Yeah, he knows Nathan really well too. But yeah,
Since age 12.
You guys been knowing each other that long?
Yeah,
wow.
Man. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's cool. So anyway, America, I want to talk about some of these bowl games, man. They weren't, probably with the exception, Oregon might be the only team that's in it that I was expected to be in it. But I think the other teams, you did not expect them to be in it. And then I was shocked. Well,
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is in.
I mean, I think who do we have? We got Ole Miss,
Miss,
Miami,
Oregon, Indiana, Oregon, Indiana play.
So are those the Final Four?
That's the Final Four: Oregon, Indiana, and Miami, and Ole Miss. Some teams that are surprised me because I honestly thought that Georgia was going to win the whole thing. That was my pick, but I was wrong. So if you're a betting man,
I think Georgia is a good bet every year. If you start the season, would you take a 50? Well, that's a bit long, but I mean, would you take a 25-75 to Georgia? Well, I'd take that every time.
Yeah,
I mean, they're always going to be in the top 5
20.
or 6.
Yep, top 10.
I'd probably even at least top 10. But I think, I mean, it's an SEC school in a state that puts out just a ridiculous amount of talent. I mean, probably because of the Atlanta area, but I mean, there's so much sports focus.
South Georgia is really where they get them from.
Huh?
They really get a lot of athletes from South Georgia.
Atlanta's in the middle, right?
Yeah. South Georgia is.
But further down, southern Georgia, them big country boys. That's where they get them from.
Yeah, they get some dudes. They get some dudes from the metro. There's a lot of guys from the metro area, but a lot of their meat and potato guys is either the northern Georgia or southern Georgia. Yeah, it's not the. I mean, Georgia's not big.
Not only Atlanta.
Nah, Georgia. Nah, football down south, man. You drive down to Lowndes County, Valdosta. You drive out to Carrollton. You drive up a little bit further up from me to Gainesville and places like that. Man, them teams is stacked. I mean, Buford is right by my house, and they have they're the number one team in the nation. But I don't know how many guys they got committed to UGA. So that's
right.
That's one of those things. It's like a lot of the South Georgia guys, a lot of the North Georgia guys that are in the country. A lot of the country guys, man, they like, yo, we were born and raised to go to UGA. That's where they. So I think that's where they get their bread.
That's in a town called. That's in Athens, right?
Yeah.
What's the capital? Atlanta. Or Athens?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta's the capital, right?
Yep.
That's the unusual. Usually, the biggest city isn't the capital, right? I mean, right. But Atlanta is one of the. I think there's only 2 or 3 states like that, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, right.
Yeah, but I mean, Athens is only. I mean, to be honest, Athens is only like an hour away. It's only 1 hour away from Atlanta, so it's not too terribly far. Like an hour and a half, but it's not too terribly far. But I mean, when you're driving that, to go down from UGA, I mean, because I live in between Atlanta and Athens, so it only takes me like 35 to 40 minutes to get to Athens.
Oh, okay, right.
But it takes about 45 minutes to get to the city to get downtown Atlanta, right? So,
right.
But yeah, man, it's a lot, man. I think now they're getting a lot of stay-home guys, and they always been good with that. But now they're getting some studs. You know what I'm saying? Now they're getting some real dudes. So
yeah, I mean, Georgia is one of those sports states, man. I think that Georgia, Ohio, I think primarily those two, Georgia and Ohio, just seem to put out. I mean, they're not small states, but they're not mega states. But they put out mega talent. So like. Per capita, I mean, boy, they're putting out more talent than you would expect. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from football. I mean, sports focus, right? And sports infrastructure, and where the kids compete against each other, and everybody's going to the NFL or the NBA when they're, elementary school and middle school kind of thing, and they practice like it and compete against each other like it, Yeah, so that's and they make each other better and better and better, kind of like New York City and basketball.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, football here is. I don't want to say it's a religion.
Like it is in Texas.
No, Texas is a religion.
I think is a religion in Texas.
I think Georgia's not that far behind.
But I think Georgia.
It's not.
I think it's not just football. They put out some basketball players, and they put out some mean baseball players.
Right.
A kid that we drafted, the Giants drafted with the first round. I think he was he wasn't a top 10 pick. He was certainly a top, let's say, 15 pick. Zach Wheeler is from Georgia. And we traded Zach Wheeler, a pitcher. This dude's got some filthy stuff. And this is, we drafted him 10, 12 years ago kind of thing, right? He's in Philadelphia now with I saw him throw I don't know if that was a curve or a slider, but that thing must have broke 1.5 feet,
Okay.
I suppose, because we traded him when we were still in the minor leagues for Carlos Beltran, a great, great player. I think he's up for the Hall of Fame this year.
Right.
And he was, on his last legs. We traded him the year that Buster got hurt. So that would have been 2012, right? And just like a spark to, man, forget it. I say don't. It's just not. But Buster goes out, it's not your year. Don't try to. You're not going to replace Buster. That's what I think. So, and nobody. Zach was in the minor leagues. Nobody had seen him. People were critical of him because I think his control. But young guys throw hard typically don't have great control. They have to develop it, right? Traded him. He had 2 months left in his contract. He left the next season as a free agent. And now 10 years later, Zach's still making the All-Star game every other year kind of thing.
I want to interrupt you real quick. The Lions just beat Chicago Bears by 3 points. It was like 2017 was the final score with that.
Yeah. You saying that online, or is Greg?
No, I'm looking at. I have a big 50-inch TV right here in my room.
50 inches.
Oh, sorry, I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying. I watch a lot of. I watch a lot of movies too. You would think that I watch a lot of sports. I kind of do, but I don't. Because I go online a lot too. I go online a lot, look and see who's playing who and what's going on. And
right.
I'm not a bettor, so I'm not into gambling. I'm not doing that for that reason. But I just, I like sports. I'm not enamored with it, but I am a fanatic of sports. I am, that's just me. But I want to tell you really quick. Byron Buxton, right? He's from Georgia.
35 home runs last year.
Right. He's from Georgia.
He's a player, man.
He is a very good player. I hope
he was the first pick of the draft. Minnesota took him number 1 overall.
He was the number 1 baseball player in America when he came out of high school. That's right.
Did Minnesota draft him out of high school, or did he go to college?
No, he drafted him out of high school.
Yeah, probably when you're that good, that young.
Right. Yeah.
You can go to college. You got 70 years to go to college.
Right.
Yeah. So good for him. And he took less money to stay in Minnesota. He could have made big money.
I know, but I hope I really hope that he just, because Minnesota's they're from what I understand, the Twins, they're in. I got a couple of buddies of mine that still. I used to live in Minnesota for 26 years, so I still got a lot of friends that live in Minnesota. A lot of good friends of mine that live in Minnesota, so they were always telling me that the Twins are just in turmoil. But I'm thinking, man, if I'm Byron Buxton, man, get out of there, man.
I think you have to temper that, Sam. Fans, your fan is short for fanatic, right? And so a fanatic, if you don't win every year, you don't win the World Series, you're in turmoil, kind of thing. It doesn't work that way, right? So sometimes teams, organizations can be just one change away. Just, one player, not necessarily some superstar, but, maybe their pitching is a little bit, their bullpen is a little bit weak. So they go out and sign 2 guys that the average fan could not name, So, and listen to me, the substitute teacher says, oh man, Buxton could have made big money if he won some money. Now he signed for $100-something million. And yes, not too many subs make $100 million over 5 years.
Right.
So I mean, that's pretty good money, right? But he could have made 20 or 30 million more going somewhere else. But maybe his heart is in Minnesota. Some guys want to play for one organization. Maybe his wife is from Minnesota. Who knows?
No. His wife I'm sorry, I'm not eating. I'm just hungry. His wife is from down the highway, Iowa.
Okay.
That's probably the reason why he hasn't signed with somebody else. But trust me, they've been after him from day one.
He's a player, man.
They fired Rocco Baldelli, the coach. They fired him. He was a good coach too.
I always thought Rocco that's one of the coolest names in sports.
Right.
Yeah.
So But yeah, his wife was from down the highway, so that's probably one of the main reasons why he probably doesn't want to get traded, somewhere else. And that's his right. He wants
Sure.
him to stay
Yeah.
in Minnesota. He can stay in Minnesota.
I didn't know he had that kind of power, man. But I saw like they have these flash things where like they'll say the top 15 in MLB, and it's the top 15
Right.
home run hitters, strikeouts, base hits, stolen bases, whatever. Right? It's kind of a running thing, And let me see. And there were like the guy that led the majors. I mean, the American League in home runs was like only in the I think low 40s or something. Judge was up there.
Right.
Then like at the bottom of that screen or the second screen for home runs said Buxton, Minnesota, 35. That's a lot, man. 35. You have
Oh,
35 home runs. That means you have much better than average power. So he's kind of a skinny guy built for speed,
right.
defense, base hits, stolen base, etc. Then he pops 35 home runs.
That's that's saying a lot. I've always liked. Even when I lived in Minnesota, I used to cover the Twins, so I was there a lot watching them play. And he's a nice guy. Sometimes
He,
you meet.
he reminds me of Betts. He reminds me of Betts.
Yeah, yeah, a
Right.
little bit of
Not a
His
big, huge
frame,
guy, but can do everything.
yeah, his frame is kind of like Betts' frame. You're right. It's a good analogy, Nathan.
And I think it comes down to Javier. What do you think? I think it comes down to fast, like muscle twitch. You have fast twitch, slow twitch. You have ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. Tall, skinny,
Yep.
medium height, medium build, short, squat kind of thing. Is the endomorph, right? Ectomorph would be on the other end, tall and skinny.
Right.
And they're not terribly tall, but they're more slim than they are medium or bulky. But those dudes have some super fast twitch, super fast muscle twitch. I think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right because when you get those quick twitch muscles, it's not really the muscles, it's the tendons, and I think like now with the science of athletics, man, you're starting to train those tendons. Who was really really good at it was the Eastern Europeans and Russians. They used to have those. They have really, really good quick twitch. And what was the quarterback from USC? Tom Marinovich. His dad
Mm-hmm.
is a world class coach. World
Right.
class. World class coach. And he specifically, and so I watched the documentary on Marinovich. He was just hard on Marinovich, man. Marinovich was a
Very
good dude.
hard.
He was just hard on, but that's the way he grew up in Russia. So it's like, dude, like you grew up like this, and he knew that Marinovich. He knew the genetics. He knew how to really like. He had the science he had the science of to unlock your body naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So
But he burned his son out. He turned the ball.
He burned the sun out. I mean,
Yeah.
but a lot of guys, and I mean a lot, trained with his dad. And his dad was, I think he is the king of, quick twitch and how to really train. Just like the guy who trains with Christian McCaffrey's trainer. Christian McCaffrey doesn't even train with like a lot of heavyweights. He does like a lot of quick twitch movements.
Right.
So
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him on a documentary about him training. It's just phenomenal.
yeah.
What
He
he
trains.
does.
He trains like a track athlete.
Right.
Mm.
He trains like a track athlete. So you got to have those. So yeah, he's I think once you get those, that science behind it with those quick twitch movements, how to really load up and things like the science of really, then you'll be, you can see the step in those athletes.
Right.
The like Jordan, Pippen, LeBron's. Even LeBron, he trains like that. But LeBron, I mean, a lot of that was natural. But yeah, when you start honing in on it, it's like, oh.
My cousin, I was on the phone with Frankie this morning a couple of times actually. I'm not in Tracy right now, and excuse me, guys. I don't know how we were talking about. I don't know, NCAA basketball or something like that. And he asked me what young lady has the perfect athletic build. And then he says Serena. And I thought, man, what a great answer off the board. Holy smoke. Oh my God. You know, you could look at her and she looked like a superstar, you know. Then he said, what two athletes would make, like if they got married, they'd have super duper athletic kids. And I said, well, if Serena married LeBron, or I don't think I said this, but another guy, shortstop for the Mets, Lindor, right? I mean, you just look at Lindor, looks like he could be a point guard, a cornerback, or a shortstop.
He got a
you
style.
know?
He got a stout body.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. You had to. I mean, I don't think LeBron makes. Oh, I don't want to say it like that, but I'm like his pedigree is good, but
it has to be.
But I don't think his genetics is great. So if we talk about because you start talking about genetics, right? And so I'm like,
educate me, yeah.
So you have Bryce, you have Bronny. They had to work to get you have to have some kind of, hey man, he's going to be 6'10", 6'7". Bronny's not 6'7", but then
how tall is he?
Bronny's like 6'2", maybe.
It is that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe LeBron was an anomaly. Maybe neither of Kareem's parents are notably tall, right? Just maybe from his great grandfather, or maybe his mom ate the right bowl of Wheaties when she was pregnant with him. Who knows? But that dude just kept growing, you know?
Yep.
LeBron, see, I think LeBron, I don't think he had much of a relationship with his father.
But his dad was an athlete.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
His
dad
found his dad?
Yeah. His dad
okay. Was he tall, or?
I think he was pretty tall, like above average.
Not 6'8", but 6'3" or 4".
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But I know he can play basketball.
Right. Well, I mean, it comes from both sides. You know, I've never seen what LeBron's mom looks like or what she's built like, but that dude, I think he has awesome, just off the charts, DNA or genetics, and so he married his wife. His wife doesn't look athletic, I mean, so Bronny and what's the other son's name? Bronny and
Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce. They're half dad, half mom kind of thing. I'm no different. My old man, you knew both my parents, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know him. I mean, that dude was, he was off the charts. And he married mom, who was not an athlete or built like an athlete, So I felt kind of, I'm half mom, half dad. I was nowhere near like my dad was. I was decent, but I wasn't like him, So we get it from both sides.
You know what's funny though, Nathan?
What's that?
Is that my mother got pulled out of high school in the 8th grade because her biological father had died, and she lived on a farm in Texas. So her mother pulled her out of school.
What city in Texas is Mrs. Williams from?
I'm not sure the city. It's some farm town around Fort Worth, Texas, somewhere around there.
I wonder if that's part of the reason why our mothers, Sam, were crazy about each other. Because my mother was from Texas, and she loved Texas, man. She was in San Francisco by the time she was. And excuse me, I want you to finish your. I want to hear about Mrs. Williams' journey. but she left Texas when she was 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. But she always considered grew up in San Francisco. She always considered Texas home. Now tell me about Mrs. Williams.
She got pulled out of high school. Junior high school,
right?
8th grade. Worked on the farm. Her brothers all went to the military. Well, that's my understanding. So anyway, my grandmother and my mom, they went to L.A. They moved to Los Angeles. I guess they got rid of the farm and migrated to L.A. And then they started their journey, from L.A. My mom met my dad. My dad lived in the same apartment complex as my great aunt. which is like my grandmother's sister. And so anyway, long story short, my mother kept saying for the longest time, she goes, because what happened was, backtrack. My dad was a phenomenal baseball player. Phenomenal baseball
I
player.
remember he had a physical body. He's a strong man.
Yeah.
He's a strong man.
And it was strange, you'd think, because my dad worked like a mule. He worked 2 jobs all the time. So my mother would get out in the front yard and she would play football with us. She'd wrestle with us. We played baseball. My mom pitched to me. She caught for me.
Wow.
9 yards, all that stuff. And she did an excellent job. She would have.
So you had 2 athletic parents.
Excuse me. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Right.
I had two athletic parents, but I said that to say that you can go in time. I was a good athlete. My sister, Javier's mom.
Right.
Yeah, my sister has her speed.
Right, her speed. Yeah, because
Nice.
But I think sometimes when people are growing up, because like we thought, me and my son in Minnesota, we thought that my grandson Aiden, we thought he was going to end up being 6'6", 6'7". Nope, he's only about probably not even 6'2". But hopefully, yeah, he's a lineman. He's a wrestler, and he's a lineman, and that's what he plays. He plays, and he's got a lot of colleges looking after him too. So hopefully, he's a smart guy. His father was a good football player. Not much of a good basketball player, but he was a good football player.
Well, actually, to reference your son, I think you said they now they can measure with pretty good accuracy how tall a kid is going to be. Like when a kid is young, they measure the skull, the spine. They look at ectomorph metal. That stuff comes into play, right? Look at that. They can. I guess they can gauge pretty well. If which of the 3 or a combination of the 3 kid is, and they can tell you within an inch or half an inch kind of thing how tall the kid's going to end up being. Save, of course, for any sort of malady or unfortunate circumstance, right?
Yeah. I had that done when I was 12. I was 12. I had to go to the hospital, and I'll go tell you, man. At 12 years old, I was probably like 5'10", probably like 5'8", 5'10".
Wow.
I was probably.
That's tall.
And I was wearing a size 12 shoe at the time. Going into the site, so I was a big kid.
I mean, Kareem, when Kareem was 12, he was 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
he was 6 feet at holy smacks, man. So when I hear you say 5'10",
yeah. So we go to the hospital because I had asthma. I had real bad asthma. We go to the hospital. We go to Cedars-Sinai, which has all the great stuff. And I remember the doctor was like, "We want to run some tests and blah blah blah." I don't know what they're doing. And so he comes back. He was like, "You're in like the point blah 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 for percentile of kids your age of this."
Right.
And I was like, "I don't know what that means, right?" And at the time, I was playing football. I didn't pick up a basketball. I did not pick up a basketball.
Right.
And I was good. I was good wide receiver. I was good, and I was still running track. I was a good wide receiver and safety. I didn't even play defense yet, but I was a good wide receiver, and I could run. And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Looking at all your measurements, you're going to be about 6'7" to 6'9". What? That was the day I decided. I was like, I'll never pick up a football again in my life. Like literally, I was like, "Yeah, I played until I was like 13. I played until I was in 8th grade. But
Instant basketball focus.
Instantly. And my brother played basketball already, so I was like, oh crap. And the only thing I knew, I was like, I want to be like
Parker?
No, my older brother.
Parker, I thought Parker's younger than you.
Yeah,
right?
Parker, yeah, he's 11 years younger than me. So
Oh, okay.
But I was like, man, I want to be like my brother because my brother played He was playing big time basketball at the time, for the city in the city. And so I was like, yo, okay. And man, I was growing. I grew up to 6'2", and I was just growing out. So ninth grade, 8th grade, ninth grade, I'm like the biggest kid out there most of the time. Can run, can jump. And then I wound up having a whole bunch of asthma a whole bunch of asthma problems. So, taking steroids, then I didn't know just taking those steroids stunted my growth. So when I look back at it, I was like, I play. And so one of my nicknames here in Atlanta was 6'9", because I used to play like I was 6'9" all the time. I used to just want to dunk everything. And so I was like, man,
what grade were you in when you first dunked?
8th grade, 7th grade.
8th grade. That's wow. See, 7th grade is very early.
Yeah, 7th grade.
Your dunkers, that starts to happen in 9th grade, 9th and 10th grade. Let's say 9th grade, 8th grade, good, a little early. 7th grade, man, that's really early.
Yeah, that was off of 2 feet. So it wasn't even. I couldn't even dunk off of 1 foot yet. I could dunk off of 2 feet.
I was in the 9th grade, because back when I was in high school, it went 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. And I played all 3 years of junior high school basketball. I was decent, but basically, I played on the junior high school baseball team all 3 years. I played Pop Warner football, but they had flag football, and it was like it wasn't the same. So I wasn't into junior high school football as much as I was basketball and baseball, and then basketball I played all 3 years in junior high school, and then when I got to I was dunking, but I was dunking on with 2 feet. But then when I got into in high school, there was a different story. Then I played, then, but again, it wasn't until I got to junior college and I could get up. I could lift. I could really get up, but I ended up being, 6'3", 6'3.5", somewhere right around there. I'm shrunk now. Now I'm like 6'2" now. But it happens with time. You get older, you shrink, that's a fact, So, but yeah, I just kind of, I'm going to get back on the subject of sports. I think sometimes we look at these teams like Oregon is now got to play Indiana, but they're both from the Big Ten, right? And then you got who was Ole Miss playing?
Miami.
Okay, now you got two out. Yeah, you got an SEC team and an ACC team, and you got two Big Ten teams, Oregon and Indiana. And I think, and I'm going to say it again, I just think that perhaps Indiana might be the best team in all of football.
Oh,
I saw them play one game, man. They looked solid in all facets.
Right. And then
it was surprising to me because I just never knew Indiana to be very much of a football school.
But Nathan, it's not. It's the coach. When the coach left West Virginia, he went to the Midwest. A lot of the players went with him, and they pumped up the team.
That's the key word, players. Indiana wouldn't have. I mean, I don't remember very many guys going in the premium rounds in football out of Indiana. It's basketball,
Right.
Maybe a little football, but I just never knew them as a football school. I don't know if it's a football state. Not sure. I'm sure they have.
It's not. It's always been it's going to always be a basketball state, Indiana.
It's the Midwest, and so they probably have some big strong corn pone boys that picked up the back end of Dad's tractor when he needed to change the oil or something. Okay, come on, boy, let's go hold the field, kind of thing. So you're going to have those kinds of people in a state like that, but. It just
Nathan, what I found with Indiana is that a lot of those guys aren't from the state of Indiana. A lot of them are, but a lot of the starters are not from the state of Indiana. A lot of them are transferred in. There was a guy, matter of fact, there was a guy that's a lineman for Indiana now, played here at Fresno State.
Well, I mean, so like Midwest, some of them might want to stay in the Midwest kind of thing, you know.
There
It's
you go.
a big population, and you know, I'm sure there are some strong guys in that part because of the lifestyle, you know, the weather, you know, it's agricultural, this sort of thing, right? Yeah. So
And I think the other thing too is that you look at these teams that are a lot of these teams, with the exception of Oregon. No, Oregon's the only exception. Is that all the other teams are just Miami. But honestly, let's be realistic, Nathan. How long has it been since Miami's been in the top 10 poll? I'm waiting.
Miami
about 10 years.
When Michael Irvin was
He
went to
they just lost the championship a couple of years ago to Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alabama.
Right. Yeah.
No, Ohio State. It was Ohio State that they lost to in the championship.
Where did Michael Irvin go to school?
He went to Miami.
Miami.
Right. I heard a radio interview with Irvin about a week or two ago, and the announcer, the interviewer was asking him, "Do you think that Miami was the best team in college football history?" He said, "No doubt." So I'm like, I'm all ears now. Well, how do you surmise that? Then when he named all the guys were there when he was there, I thought, my goodness, you know, a bunch of perennial All Pros and Hall of Famers. Like, what's the linebacker for Baltimore?
What's the guy? The linebacker's name?
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, he was there too.
There. I mean, that's the name that I remember. He named about 6 or 8 or maybe 10 guys whose names I recognized as like All Pros. I mean, you can just pencil them in, sort of thing. And I thought, man, they had all that talent. I said, well, I mean, they were probably up there. I would have thought, you know, it's one of the more, because Miami is not a traditional football school. You're talking football, traditional football. You're talking about, and Javier, this might be a little bit before your time. Sam, do you remember when there was a time when the top 10 schools, year in and year out, were the same schools?
USC.
They would just trade places. USC, Notre Dame, Alabama, Texas.
Right. Those 4 teams.
Ohio, those are no more than that. Ohio State.
Ohio State was in there too.
Penn State, Nebraska.
They were in there.
Right. So that's 7.
Another school.
So I'm probably missing 2 or 3, but every year for 10 or 15 straight years, maybe 20 straight years, that was your top 10.
Those
they traded places, but you weren't getting in the top 10 if you weren't one of those schools. And that's because, you know, so this might be cheating in their stacking the odds in their favor, give them more credit than is due. But that's during the era when you could have 100 guys on scholarship. Right. I remember that number. You could have 100. You couldn't give out 100 every year, but you could have 100 guys on scholarship. Well, I mean, it ain't but 40 guys. So you're talking about 2.5 teams on scholarship. So that means you go out and those 10 teams times 100, that's 1,000. Your 1,000 top football players went to one of those schools. I mean, give or take, right? So that means when you're a superstar All-American got drafted, bam, you have, you know, the number 2 guy in the country step in and take his place, right?
Yep.
So that's how they stacked and they what do you call that in spades when you
get your books. That's how you get your books.
Get your books or sandbagging. So I think you got some sleepers. You got a team and a half worth of sleepers.
But now you can't do that. Now they lessen the number of people they have on scholarship.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's 65. I think.
Now they just bam. Now they go NIL money.
Yeah, I think they're about to get. I think a lot of people are about to get slowed down too. I think because I think a lot of the coaches and a lot of organizations are hip to the game now, where it's like, yo, we're paying this kid $1 million, $2 million, whatever it is, and then okay, well he's gone. and then we got to do something else. So I think like Calipari, he's like hitting the nail on the head. Like, yo, if you're not really committed some kind of way, we're gonna give you the money, but you got to commit to something because you can't. Like I wouldn't do that. If I say, hey, look, I'm going to UMass back in the day, right? If I'm going to UMass,
Right.
and they're gonna give me an NIL deal worth $2 million, well, cool, because I know what that NIL deal. Hey, guess what? That's money, but I know I have to go. See, you have to go perform, and so now they're just getting the money. Mikey Williams is one of the kids. He's not going to do. I guarantee you, right now in Sacramento State, he's not going to do jack itch with Sacramento. I guarantee you.
Mikey Williams.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do nothing, man.
Is he a player? Mike Bibby, the coach, or Mikey, the player?
Mike Bibby, no, Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a player that they got him. He has some issues. He's good, but he's not great. See, like when I look at NIL,
when you say not going to do anything, do you mean he's not going to stay at Sac State, or
he'll stay? This is his last chance. He'll stay at Sac State, but I mean, he doesn't have NBA talent. And Uncle, you could correct me if I'm wrong because you've seen him play. He does not have NBA talent. Like when you start,
that is correct, Mundo.
Yeah, if I say I'm gonna go pay a kid $1 million, hey man, I need you to go make sure that I need Carmelo Anthony out here to make sure that we go get the championship. I need Sharif Abdul-Rahim out here. I need Stephon Marbury. I need KG. I need somebody like that I know. Dwight Howard didn't go to college, but I'm like, yo, Randolph Morris, Ismail Mahal. Like I start looking at people, I'm like, nah.
I wonder if that's because maybe Sac State wants to make a statement because for all the talent, Sacramento puts out a little talent, right? But nobody plays ball here. We have one major college in Sacramento. I mean, nobody goes to Sac State.
No.
And then
they go to Davis.
Davis will get all the talent.
More likely go to Davis. That is an academically challenging school. Some cats like, man, look, I'm gonna be in school for a year or two. I'm not, I don't want to strain my brain. I mean, some guys think like that, right?
Right, they're not, and so the school is not going to recruit those kind of players anyway, though.
Yeah.
Well, but I wonder if did Sac State give Williams $1 million, or
he got over $1 million.
That's a lot for, that's a lot for, I mean, because it's not an athletic school, and Sacramento's the kind of town that, well, we want winners, we want to taste the big time kind of thing, but I don't know that, I mean, if that got out, I guarantee on the talk radios, people go, what? That could have went to the science lab, or you could have paid professors more, or you're going to hear every excuse. You could have improved the building or something, you'll hear every excuse because we're not used to seeing that. So I wonder, and if I know that, the administration knows that. So I wonder, we have to make a statement. We have to splash and get a 4-star kid. Not going to get a 5-star.
Sacramento State doesn't have that. Sacramento State doesn't have that type of money.
No, which is great. That's the other thing. I'm like, yo, you guys, it's not like NC State. It's not like if I like Caleb Williams, Uncle. You know who Caleb Williams is. If you
quarterback for the
no. In college basketball, just a little young kid from UNC. From UNC.
Okay. Back to that young man. I'm so sorry.
That kid is phenomenal. Like I say, I only had to see him for 30 seconds.
Right.
He has it.
Superstars don't take long. You can see it.
Nope, I seen it.
So what sport and what position?
He plays at UNC
basketball.
and plays basketball.
What position?
Small forward.
Yep.
6'10", can shoot it. He dunks everything, and I mean everything. He plays angry. He's not a big guy either. He's slender, 6'10".
He must not be at 6'10" to be a small forward.
But he
must be a Bob McAdoo type.
Yeah, when I tell you that in college right now he's dominating at UNC, it's like, he gets the ball. If he gets the ball down low, he's gonna dunk on you, and he's gonna make sure that you know about it. He had, because I know his coach, I know his trainer. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's son Cameron. That's how I seen him, because he trains with him. But I know his trainer, and his trainer has that mind. He gives him that dog mindset, and that's why I'm like, yeah, man. Like, see, if I say I'm gonna give somebody $2 million, that's who I want to give $2 million to come play.
Yeah, but how do you get a guy like that? Because listen, they say that an athlete by age 14, you can start to tell if they're that good. You're going to see it by age 14, right? And so the thing is, the kid knows. Look, I'm the ish, as you eloquently put it 10 minutes ago, Javier. Well done. So I'm going to UNC or, that school's equivalent, and they know I'm going to stay. A kid like that is not going to do 4 years. I would not, as much as I am in school education. I say you got to, if you stay here for 4 years, you that stupid, you take that money before you blow your knee out, right? So he's not coming to Sac State unless $1 million to come to a school like Sac State and risk, the NBA saying, yeah, he went to a second division school. Was he afraid of competition?
Right.
They would have to pay him $3 million or $4 million because look, I'm taking a risk coming here, So I think that I don't know, but I do think that Sac State, we have a new president and a new AD, and we're trying to make a statement. You don't bring in guys like we got Mike Bibby, NBA All-Star as the head coach now. You don't bring in a team of guys like that unless you want to make this an athletic school. But you don't, just because you bring in guys like that by itself will not bring in a guy like Mike.
You have to have nowadays, Nathan. You have to have NIL money.
Of course.
If you're not waving the dollar bills in front of me, keep it moving.
Right.
Sure.
That is a fact.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It should be. I mean,
and a lot of these schools, and I'm going to just use Fresno State. Fresno State, they just won a small bowl game recently, and I don't really argue this point, but I discussed this point with a good friend of mine who's a Fresno State fan. Love this dude to death, and he knows Fresno State's never going to get a 4 or 5 star player, never. Why? Because the alumni doesn't have that kind of money.
I think well, up until maybe recently, they were more likely than Sac State. Remember, think back a few years. Probably 10 years now. Fresno State had an incredible year. They ended up in the top 20 nationwide, right. Division I, top 20.
But that was 10 years. That was been 10 years, come and gone, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But they don't have that. They do not have the money to get these kids. They go out, they got about 2 or 3 young men from Europe that are good players, but they're not great players. And you're talking about getting an impact player like this kid for North Carolina who's gonna go pro next year, or this year rather. Yeah. He's going.
Yeah.
Caleb. Why would you name Caleb or Mike? Caleb. Right. Yeah. Also, for Fresno State, if I can say this, Sam, you were born in Fresno, right?
Correct.
Well, it's a little bit. I'm not saying Sacramento is the same as San Francisco, but Fresno is a little bit bovine.
That was my other point I was going to elude.
So you're talking about a 19-year-old that.
Right, and really, honestly, you got. But now think about it. And why does Boise State get the players that they get?
That's a good question.
Because Boise State is not the entertainment capital of the world either. Boise State and Idaho, come on.
Right.
But I say
that's a great analogy, Sam, because I didn't go to Boise. I was in Idaho Falls, right? Yeah, it's kind of out there, So
right.
How in the world does Boise State, I'm guessing it's something like Boise and Idaho are the same state, neither major markets kind of thing. How does Boise State recruit?
they get right, and that's my point is that they get the top of the line players to come there to Boise
I have
State.
no idea how. Why do you?
They
How do you
they
think?
they they get some guys that have some issues from LA, just like a lot of so they take a lot of the LA guys, a lot of the California guys, they get a chance to say, hey, look, you could go there and immediately play. You'll be on TV. You're not far from home. It's not, Boise is not far from Sacramento. It's not far from California. It's a couple
Right.
hour flight.
Right.
Yeah, but it's in the middle of nowhere. But hey, man,
That makes sense, Javier. That really does.
the fans are always going to come out and see you. You get to play big time football. You get to play big time basketball now. So you're
But Javier, you kind of look at all those schools that are in this. Remember the old WAC conference?
Yep.
West Coast Conference.
Yep.
Fresno State, Nevada. Nevada's got more going for it than Fresno State. I'm keeping it real.
I mean, because was Kawhi who played at Fresno? Was Kawhi at Fresno? He was at San Diego State.
Kawhi went to San Diego
State.
Okay. San Diego, you got to compete with San Diego.
Yeah.
You got to compete with UNLV. San Jose State's in the same conference. You got to compete with San Jose State. San Jose State's got a lot.
San Diego's a little different.
Well,
it is.
San Diego is not as big as LA. It's probably half as big.
Right.
San Diego.
Yeah, but they got a beach and a lot of.
Yeah, they got a beach. They got a beach in San Diego. Now, let's get into the mindset of a 19-year-old, 18-year-old when he signs, right? San Diego is the opposite of Philadelphia. They say that Philadelphia for a long time was the worst conditioned city in the country. San Diego is considered to be the best conditioned city in the country. So a 19-year-old mind, maybe, just maybe, the beach, the bikinis, the weather, so San Diego has its own appeal, right? It doesn't have the bright lights to the degree that New York or San Francisco or LA has, but the lights are bright enough, kind of thing, right? So I can see the natural sort of unspoken allure of a San Diego or San Diego State, and Kawhi is from LA. Maybe he wanted to get out. I mean, and I think he had a tragedy. His father, right? Yeah, Anyway, his father was, if it's the right guy's, his father was shot and killed, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not supposed to say unalived is a better way to put it, but my condolences to the Leonard family, and seemed like a very decent young man. Father was probably a very decent man, raised a very decent young man, But anyway, maybe, just maybe, he wanted to get out of the hustle. LA can be tough, and go to a cleaner existence, but not so far away from home that he wasn't near his mom or something. I mean, in other words, I'm guessing. I never met the man. But I can see how maybe that sort of transpired.
Right. But getting back to Fresno, honestly, Fresno doesn't really have any appeal.
Except for my guy marketed 504 East.
Well, of course.
Social sports. It has tremendous appeal at Fresno Sports. It's one game at a time.
Right. But I say that to say that maybe 20 years ago, in that span, Tark the Shark came back to Fresno and coached, and they had a really good team back then.
He did.
You remember that?
I didn't.
They ran him out of Las Vegas.
I remember that he coached. I didn't know that. I didn't realize it was Fresno.
Yeah, he's been and Tark's from Fresno. That's where he's from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's a big Armenian population here in the city of Fresno.
Right.
So, but I say that to say
I like Shark, man. I like Talk to Shark. I liked him.
Oh yeah, big guy. But he can recruit. He was a big time recruiter. You remember when he started out, his path was he went to Long Beach State, had a winner there, got in the Final Four with Ed. Remember Ed Ratliff? Remember back in the day? Maybe you're all too young. Maybe you don't know it. But they had a stud back then. They had Ed Ratliff, man. Was like the top number 5 scorer in all of the country. in the top 5 of scoring. But anyway, the Tark was the coach, and so they lured him away to Las Vegas, and then he ended up being in Las Vegas for a long time. But
he had some team.
They changed the ADs, and the AD is what got him.
Why?
Because he, Shark. I'm gonna tell you this story right now. There was a guy named Earl Evans from Beaumont, Texas, 6'9", played for the Detroit Pistons. He went to SC for 1 year, didn't like a country boy, didn't like it. LA was too fast for him. He ended up going to play for Talk to Shark in Vegas. You remember a guy from Utah, Brett Roman? Same thing with Brett. Brett ended up going and playing for Talk to Shark in Las Vegas. Tony Smith from not in Detroit. Tony Smith was from Detroit. He came to Las Vegas, but I said that to say Tark got some players from everywhere, all over where this way. So anyway, long story short,
some top-notch players. So my question was, how did he get them back before?
I'm gonna allude to that. Really, I want to be quick with this story. I'm walking down the hallway. I used to hang out with those guys. They had CBA franchise in Las Vegas. I used to hang around them and play ball with them. I was never a CBA player. Wasn't a college player at that level that they were at. But anyway, I used to sit there and play ball. But anyway, we're walking down the hallway, right, at UNLV. I see the great Jerry Tartini in his office. Earl Evans walks in and says, "Coach, I need some money." Jerry Tartini and
Coach. He didn't close the door first?
No. I heard people cuss people out, but he cussed Earl out so bad. But one thing he kept saying, he said, "Why don't come in here asking me about no money? You know what his thing was, he just said it. You know where to go." He said it over and over again, right?
Great story.
Later that night, we all hooked up. Earl got $10,000 from one of the casinos.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right, Larry. Look, that's one of those things again. That's one of those places where you look at how was Tark getting it done, and they weren't bad. We look at it now. You look at it now, and it's like, dude, and Uncle, you've been on scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, you can't work. You can't. Right. You can't do this. You can't.
You've been prohibited to very little.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't make no money. Even get a you can't. And if you get a job, it's got to be a little part-time job because you got to go to practice.
Yeah, you can't have
at study hall.
I mean, and so it's like, hey, look,
they were using those kids.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But now when you look back at it, you look at Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, Anderson Hunt. I mean, you look at those runs.
That was a team.
Man, even before them, man, when I go back and look at some stuff, I'm like, yo, UNLV used to have some squads. Before.
Well, you remember Reggie Theus? Reggie Theus was from LA, but he went to Las Vegas and played for Tark.
Yep. So I'm like, man, these dudes, and again, you're 4 hours away from LA.
You remember Reggie Theus, Javier?
I remember playing for the Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing for the Clippers and the Kings. That's right. When I was.
You're a little guy.
Yeah.
But he was bad.
Yeah.
He was actually Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan came alive.
Yeah, Reggie.
Not saying that Reggie was the equivalent.
Not quite as explosive.
But I'm just saying he was not the equivalent of Michael Jordan at all. I'm not even putting him in Michael Jordan's category, but I'm just saying
he was bad.
He was a star.
He was starting
before
like
Michael
college.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Right. Michael Jordan came along, and of course Michael Jordan, ended up changing the world of basketball for that. But I said that to say Las Vegas could offer you a whole lot more.
Right.
But see, back with then, they changed ADs at Vegas, and that's what did Shark in. That AD said, no, you're not gonna be giving any money away. You're not gonna do. Say too many. You're not going to. So then Shark was like, what?
He might have been under pressure. The AD might have been under pressure.
Probably
to clean the thing up. Yeah.
Right. because Shark's name was out there. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah,
his name was out
yeah.
there. You remember that?
They was about to get the whole death penalty. It was going down.
Everything.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
him and Calipari's name was in there too,
Calipari's name popped up.
and
Rick Pitino's name.
Patino.
Rick Pitino was right in there too.
Yep. Yeah,
You know.
all the great white coaches that had the great urban athletes, I think. I mean, because you got to remember, Calipari was at UMass. He wasn't even at Kentucky yet. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
And
Nope.
Patino was at Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, right?
Yeah. So I mean, then this is early in their careers where it's like,
Right.
yo, like what you tripping for? Like what you tripping for? I mean, yeah, you got Lamar Odom later on. You know what I'm saying? You got some guys later on, but you know, you have these guys. You know, 4 or 5 years later, Lamar Odom goes there because he 96, right? But I'm like, yeah, you looking at all these guys. You're not even looking at Kansas when they get the guys. You're not looking at You know what I'm saying? You're not looking at Duke. You're not looking at Georgia Tech.
Right.
You know, you're not looking at me. And Uncle, you know personally, me and you know personally what happened at Georgia Tech. Steph was there. So I'm just saying. And I would look, and that's somebody that we know personally. I'm like, yo, I know what was going in because I was at Tech. I was at Tech when Steph was there. Like, I'm like, yo, this is what you're doing? Coach, let me just get in the game, son. Let me get a little bit.
And I'm going to close it from this story. I had another story. I got a lot of stories, but there was a player that played for the Timberwolves, William Avery, and
Augusta's finest.
Yeah, and he grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and his mother had to have an operation, and so that year when he played 1 year at Duke, him, Will Avery, Corey Maggette, Elton Brand, all that class of guys, they all left early. They took off and left Duke. And Corey Maggette got paid, Elton Brand got paid, Will Avery got paid too. Yeah. But Will Avery told me the story. He said that
we don't want to say anything that's going to get anybody in trouble.
No, I'm not. Everything I'm telling you is factual.
I believe it. I mean, I hate to see it. Okay.
No, it's not going to happen. Anyway, Will Avery told me that Krzyzewski called him up one day and said, begging him to stay. Said, hey, come on, you got to stay, you got to stay. And Will said, no, I got to go because I got to have this money to take care of my grandmother. I guess it was something wrong with his grandmother that she needed the operation, needed the money for operation. Anyway, long story short, plus, Krzyzewski says to Will Avery, she goes, well, I'll get you another Range Rover. And Will said, I already got a Range Rover, coach.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't put it past none of them. And I'm not saying they're wrong either. I wouldn't say, and I love Krzyzewski. I love, Bobby Knight. I mean, I've been able to meet a lot of these guys where you like, it's just the business of basketball. You know what I'm saying? When you're at the top of the top, when you the top 100, it's the business of basketball.
Right.
Hey man, we're gonna give you shoes, we're gonna give you clothes, we're gonna give you a crib. I mean, and like I say, I know a lot of guys in Texas that went to UT and Baylor back in the day. SMU. Not SMU because they was on probation, but
yeah.
Man, there's another one. Even some of the smart. But anywho, I mean, one of my best friends. I mean, he played running back at Baylor, and I remember they gave him 2 cars and an apartment. And I was like, yo, this what we doing? And that's at Baylor. And Baylor sucked then. Baylor was terrible.
But see now with the NIL, you can go buy 2 cars, or you can go buy this, and you can go do this and that. But I'm thinking, I want to say this really quick before I go. I just think it's my own personal opinion. Well, no, it's not. One of my good friends and I were talking like a week or so ago on the phone, and he said that Nick Saban should be the commissioner of college football.
But what's that going to do?
No.
What do you think? What do you think he would do?
I was going to say, I'm going to allude to that. He can control the money more.
Yeah.
Doing that. because Nick's been there, and so that's what my friend told me, and I said I thought about it. And I said, you're right.
I'm gonna submit this. I think money is tough to control because
it is.
When there's money involved, there's going to be temptation. Somebody
Always
to pay a little more, bend the rules, etc.
I'm gonna say this again.
Yes, sir.
No one is beyond reproach, meaning that everybody can be bought. You remember those old gangster movies about, you got a price on everything. There is a price on everything.
Right.
And players can be bought. Referees can be bought. Coaches. How many coaches you hear about getting in on the scandal too? Because, they'll flash you $1 million because somebody else will put his reputation out there on the line for $1 million.
What changes do you think Nick Saban would make, or how do you think he would,
I think what my friend was telling me, and he's watching the show, I think what he said was that he could be able to just kind of more govern it a little better. Because like now it's gotten so far, in every direction that, Nick Saban could like reel it in a little bit. I don't know how far I can reel it in. He could reel it in a little bit, but that was his interpretation of having Nick Saban. I said, that's a good idea, having Nick Saban, kind of control the NIL situation, So, well.
How do you think it should be controlled? Like, you have to stay 2 years, or
you have to
give
at least
money that people can get.
Yeah, because if you're going to give money, you got to have some stipulations too, because you're not just giving money away willy nilly. They want. There's coaches they want to win, but there's a price to pay sometimes in winning. So if you're giving out the money, the NIL money, and the NIL money is here to stay. That's going to happen. That's not going to go away. That's here to stay. So I just think, it's just my own opinion, America, I just think that if Nick Saban could be the not so much the commissioner, be the NIL person to kind of reel it in a little bit, maybe make it where you got to stay 2 years to get this the full amount. So they pay you a lot of money up front your freshman year to come to the school. And then they'll say, well, you got to stay here at least 2 years to get the other portion of the money.
Now you took the words out of my mouth. If they gave guys the money in
increments,
right? Then there's, at least some incentive to stay, unless you got a better deal somewhere else.
Right.
And if it's done that way, the school is not okay. So we paid them $500,000 instead of the whole $1 million, kind of thing. But
right.
Okay, so that means we have $500,000 left to pay to somebody else.
Right. And say, for instance, if the guy walks, if you're giving him $4 million and the guy walks after his freshman year and goes somewhere else, fine. You save the other $2 million and go give it to somebody else, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
But anyway, that's fun conversation today, folks. I want to tell everybody, please subscribe to this podcast. It's Big Sam and Nephews. It's on YouTube. My nephew is going to put it on YouTube. As soon as he gets done, it'll be on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. What else? I think that's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Anybody got anything else to say before I close?
Nope. Nothing.
Okay. All right. I want to tell everybody. I was just going to elude. See, I'm using the $7 words today with 2 cent meanings. Elude. Big Sam and Nephews is sponsored by my guy Market at 504 East Belmont Avenue here in the wonderful city of Fresno, California, where they have the Five Guy Market. They serve the Checkmate Yummy Texas Steakhouse sandwich. It's a short rib sandwich, very yummy. It's actually the My Guy Market is actually owned by Floyd Sanchez and my good buddy and Eddie. He makes the sandwiches. I want to say shout out to Eddie, and also I want to give a shout out to Fresno Social Sports, where adults can come to play and they can go have fun, and they're building the community one game at a time, and you can join Fresno Social Sports. I said it right. I said that right today, and I said sandwich right today too, Nathan. Because I'm getting, I don't know why.
You're getting better. You're getting better.
Even at my young age, yeah, right. I'm getting better, But anyway,
absolutely.
Fresno Social Sports is run by Eric DeYoung. These are all good people here in Fresno, California. My sponsors of the show, and they're gonna love them. They're all right, And also, I cannot forget my brother Gregory Williams. He is my stat man. He it was, as a matter of fact, when I was been on the air today, he sent me some messages on people are coming, who's winning and whatnot. So I'll get off and I'll make something to eat, and then I will.
Big Greg. You're gonna go get you a checkmate?
No, I'm gonna go. Strange, Nathan, is I made some. I boiled some short ribs. I got 4 short ribs, and I boil them for an hour, and then I put them in the oven, and on the grill, in the oven, and for 5 minutes, and oh man, they're so tasty. I have that and a salad,
I believe this month, actually last month around the middle of the month, but I just to say officially 1 January, 30 years vegetarian. So I'll just have to imagine, I won't spend much, I have no desire to have a short rib or anything like that. But strange question for a vegetarian, what does boiling, in water like you boil eggs, what does boiling, does it make it tender or something?
It makes, from what I understand, I do it for an hour. It makes it a lot more tender.
I see.
And then when I put it, and I take the meat and I put the meat in a broiler, and I take it out after 5 minutes, and man, Nathan, it comes right off the bone.
All right.
So, but I'm not 100% vegetarian, but sometimes I'll eat some meals that have, like I think the other day I had a salad and some mashed potatoes. That was my meal. So I guess I can probably be a vegetarian, but I don't think I'm gonna ever be a 100% vegetarian, because I like certain meat. I don't like all meat. I don't like pork. I like fish. I like salmon. I like salmon a lot. I bake salmon, and I eat salmon. I'll eat some chicken wings, and I'll eat some chicken thighs. I do not like the quote unquote. I do not like the breast. Don't like them. Too dry.
Dry. I knew you were going to say that. Yep. Right. Yep.
So, but other than that, but I think I'm trying to, lose some weight too. I don't know. I think I am doing a good job of that, but I'm eating, not that I was eating bad. I'm going
to send you, there's a thing called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. I'm trying to tell you, man, I've done it several times. Stomach gets tight, waist slims down. Impossible for that not to happen. I'll send you a video I have of a guy that, you have several guys that do it and talk about it and teach it or whatever, nutritionist kind of guys. I'll send you his video. It's like 20 minutes long. Yeah,
I got nothing to lose. I got time on my hands, man.
Yeah, the thing with that is that you just gotta, because I started back intermittent fasting. I was like, usually, it's like I just did it like if I was normally gonna fast in my religious fast, so morning, so I do the 8 to 10 hours, something like that in the daytime. But my problem is that it's something, because until I get used to it again, and I have to start training my body again, but until I get used to it, I'm like, I'm overly hungry, I overeat, and it just throws it all away, right? And yeah, it's the mental. So, that's my thing, but.
But see, with me, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and so I kind of got to watch that, because my head will start, like yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, Friday. I was on a mission. I had some banking stuff I needed to go do, and I had some errands I needed to run. So then I had gone probably 6 hours without even eating, no breakfast. But then when I got back home, I had an apple, and I had some other stuff that I gradually worked back into it. But then the dizziness went away when I ate the fruit, you know. But I got some strawberries, and I got some apples, you know, some green apples. I mean, I ate a lot of fruit, and then I got salad, and I got some more vegetables. So I like fruit, you know, and I freeze my watermelon. Which people think that is kind of weirdo, but I'm kind of weird anyway. I freeze my watermelon, right, and then I got these little pieces that like $4 or $5, but I like them and it's worth it. And then I eat those. I freeze them and I'll eat them like a frozen watermelon bar. I eat those and it's like fills me up, you know. So, but always, you know, you can send me that. I'll do it. I'll watch it. You know, let you know how I progress. You know, I'm game, man.
My mother was diabetic, so I think I dodged a bullet. I didn't have anything like that, but you know, I know that, you know, based on how the things that she had to sacrifice, you know, that you know, you're going to want to make those considerations, I should say, right? But it's intriguing.
Give me just 30 seconds.
It's intriguing.
Here's what you're missing about Factor. Trust me, Factor isn't your average ready-to-eat meal service. It's made performance food easy for me. I get up to 50 grams of protein.
I went up to grab a deep-fried hot dog at the bowling alley. The most unhealthy thing you can think of. It was more than 30 years ago, you know. I wasn't vegetarian back then. Delicious. And I went back to doing what I was doing. Berlin was a super fun town. It's like New York, you know. And then the next day I was busy again. I didn't eat until 6. You know, I said, holy smokes, I've had 2 hot dogs in 2 days. So let me see how long I can do this. Now, what happened was, I'm sure that the audience is sitting on the edge of their seats, listening to, you know, this is a sports show and please excuse me. But I mean, in way less than 30 days, my senses heightened, my sense of taste, my sense of smell. I don't know about hearing, but or actually hearing, yes, there was a calmness that just overtook me. I don't know that my vision improved at all, but all the other 4 senses definitely did. My waistline, I was in pretty good shape, you know, but my waistline shrunk down to high school size, right? Without, you know, I stopped working out after about a week, right? But it still shrunk down to, I mean, it's hardcore Mayweather 6-pack kind of thing, right? This all took place in like 30 days kind of thing, you know? So I say all that to say, watch the video, you know, take from it what you want, but I'm trying to tell you, this stuff works. But as a type 2, you know, keep in mind, you know, that sort of takes a precedence, and you got to watch that part of your health with whatever.
Because like today, I went to church and they had, oh my God, they had just a whole bunch of a slew of pastries, man. Like, I mean, cookies they had, and so I hadn't eaten any breakfast this morning, so I had a half a cinnamon roll. I ate that, and then I was feel full for a while, and then I burnt that off, and I came home, and then I had some rice, and I made some short ribs. I did that's what I was saying. I'm talking about I had some leftover short ribs now. So anyway, I did that, but I have to be very conscientious about the you know, that sugar intake too. But I check my sugar intake pretty much.
That to me, that takes at least equal footing, equal precedent to weight loss, for instance.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta, but you know, you have. So I'm pretty good at it because I gotta watch what I'm gonna do. This other deal where I go put some warm water in a glass and some cinnamon and a lemon. I bought a bag of lemons, so I'm gonna put that in there and try that process, and it's supposed to help lower my blood pressure. My good friend Don Lyle sent me that, so I was like, I'm over that too. But anyway,
I saw Donald a couple of weeks ago at Home Depot.
Well, man, yeah. All right. Which is the one in South Sacramento?
Yep. No.
Was it by Freeport Boulevard?
Well, there's one on Folsom, But
out there.
I forgot which one it was, but yeah, I saw him, and in fact, I said, "Yeah, come back on the show, man." You know, yeah, former member of the Big Red Machine. Yeah, he was.
Right.
He probably won't want to do it every week, but be nice.
Yeah, be nice. I'll contact him.
Hey, what was the name of the coach that coached that your boy that coached at Pacific, the Loyola Marymount?
Oh, Lewis Wilson.
Lewis, man, I just seen him on TikTok on Instagram or one of them, but he was dancing with the players, man. I was like, man, look at this dude, man.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I know a lot of former, current and some former coaches that I still know from back in the day when I was really more involved with basketball and being on the radio and all this other stuff. But now I'm just a low-key guy.
Hey, man, give yourself some credit, Sam. You brought on some heavies. Former member of the Reds, coach of Loyola Marymount.
Right.
Kirby Puck's son.
Yep.
Everybody's favorite, Little Riley.
I gotta get her back on too.
Yeah. But she's a busy college girl now.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I don't like to bug her. But that's just me. I don't like to bug people. I just like But we'll see.
She might enjoy, I don't know that she'd have time to do it every week, but
just do it once in a while. Well,
yeah. Sure.
I told her she was on last month, right before Thanksgiving, and she said she was going to come on after Christmas, but then I didn't want to bug her, but I might, I might put a little bug in her here and see what works for her, because they're coming in the school's starting back up now, and so they're going to come in the bulk of their schedule, is coming up for basketball. So
I think a good lead-in for her, for our listening audience, because most of us are parents. I mean, I don't know that we have a bunch of 18-year-old jocks tuning in. Hope so, but probably not. But the parental crowd might enjoy and might tune in, and so they would be curious to hear about her college experience, for instance. As much as she say we might want to keep her, we might not. I don't know. She might want to might not want to put out there exactly where she goes to school and where she lives, kind of thing.
Right.
But just the college experience, and so some of our parents might find that interesting.
We'll see. Well, thank everybody for listening to our podcast. Like I said, please subscribe to this podcast. It's a family podcast. It's Big Sam and Nephews on YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube. As a matter of fact, as soon as I get done, it's going to be on YouTube, just like that. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. We'll be back. Have a good day. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Oh, guys.
It's magic.